am going to be talking to, and this is a lady, Kimberly Davis with Onstage Leadership. She's been on the show before, back when I looked at it. It was back in April or May.
Was it that far back?
Well, it seems like it was May, and it may have been the 1st of June. But she was a guest of Anthony Kung, and I really enjoyed her segment and just her energy and just her. So I asked her to come back today because she has Onstage Leadership, and she has a theater background, and you know that I always have that longing to be a star. So at least, you know, I like to do it, and that's how close I could get today was Kimberly. Anyway.
You are a star, Kathy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. She is
I
a
don't
star.
have to be a star. I just have to be around stars. Anyway. Okay. And I go to their game every week. No, anyway. I'm sorry. They're with the comic. Anyway, she has Onstage Leadership, and what it is, it's an organization that she has these workshops that she works with people to using her world theater background, to expand their effectiveness and build their confidence and set the stage for more powerful connections. And so we're going to be talking about today. She has a great blog. Now, her website is onstageleadership.com. And I was visiting there, and I'm going to welcome you to the show, Kimberly Davis.
It is a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me, Kathy.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
She brings a lot of energy. She's from Seattle and moved down here, and so it was a nice move. And has a little boy. Y'all still live over there in Oak Cliff?
We live in Lakewood. We live in Lakewood. Yeah, but I love Oak Cliff too. So
I know that's where we met. That's where we had lunch
over there.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that neighborhood.
Okay.
So yeah, but we live in Lakewood.
She had a funny story the other morning that when it was real cold, her gate froze and her kid couldn't get out and go to school, so he's only 6.
We were frozen in.
Yeah.
And actually, I grew up in Montana, so to have the gate freeze in Dallas was a really odd thing.
Yeah, it was. So I'm just going to tell you, tell the people briefly a little bit more about what you do, and then let's just talk and have some conversation. I have Roger Blaker sitting next to me, and he's kind of sitting here and might pipe in, but tell us what you do.
Well, I'm so glad you asked, because there's a lot of confusion around what bringing theater into leadership might be. A lot of people think, oh, you're going to teach me. I had one person say, yeah, you're going to teach me how to fake it better at work. And that is so not at all what we do, because when you train as an actor, what actors do is that they seek to really identify the truth of what's motivating that character. And so that's what I help leaders do, is to really identify what is the truth of what drives you as a leader. And how can you make sure that that is showing up constructively, consistently, in the face of whatever it is you're facing. So that is essentially what we do. Okay. The tools that we use in Onstage Leadership are all tools that actors use, but it's not teaching people to fake it. It's really teaching people to identify the truth of who they are and how to ensure that that is showing up constructively and consistently in the work that they do.
Well, would it be fair to say, though, that it also would deal that sometimes you get stage fright or you feel butterflies when you feel like you're on the spot? Or,
absolutely. Because everything that we do in Onstage Leadership is saying, what's getting in your way to you showing up as the best person you can be? Mm-hmm. And that can be the stage fright stuff. So all of the sensations that are going on inside of your body that cause you to breathe real shallow and your hands to sweat and your mind to go blank. What are those things? Because that is keeping you from showing up as the best person as you can be. And so that is everything we do in Onstage Leadership is going from the inside out, and what is keeping you from showing up as the best person you can be.
Yes. And so that could happen in a meeting with your boss, with a group. It could happen when you're in an interview.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because the spotlight's on you, or you get called into the office to your review. Yeah. So what it does is help you when those things happen to empower
Yeah.
and pull from that.
Absolutely. And help you, here's the thing. We're all human beings. Stuff is going to come up. Stuff comes up for me. I get stage fright sometimes, too. I'm human. Everybody has stuff that happens. But do you have tools in your arsenal to stay conscious about what's going on so you can go, oh, wow, I can catch myself doing this in the moment. And then you can course correct so you can be more effective. And most of the time, we experience the sensations or we experience ourselves showing up, but we don't have the consciousness to be able to name this is what's going on and this is what's happened. And so we can't course correct because we don't know what our course is. We can't name our course.
And your course is Onstage leadership. But it's also, and you have a workshop that is, what, a full day that you do?
Yeah, it's a full day workshop. There's a number of things going on right now. The flagship program is Onstage Leadership. It's a full day experiential workshop that really is designed to help you show up as your best self and get real. Get real
And I
in
think
front
that's
of the people.
And I think that's why we had you on originally, because I've always said that this show is about bettering yourself and being your best self. I think Oprah sold that from me.
I love
it. Yeah. I know, but I mean,
and then we get her for 24 hours.
No, but that is to to be your best and in both life and business and everything else and business is now very hard for a lot of people. It used to be. You pretty much were, gosh, remember back in our dad's day, you get your watch and you'd go on,
Yep,
and now we changed so many jobs or we're getting laid off and people are out of work that, it's hard to think on your feet. And that's one of the things that we talked about talking today is focusing on choosing your actions rather than reacting to what the world, how the world is going around.
I was curious about that too. Can you give an example? You do an all-day workshop, but also you do it in snippets. But what's an example of something that you do as far as an action you have someone to take to begin to develop better ability to manage themselves? What's an example of that?
Well, I might have to back up just a little bit and explain a little bit what we're talking about when I say that people start reacting to the world around us. Most of us show up in the world, particularly in our work lives, with a mask on. And we all want to show up as who we are,
right?
But we don't necessarily feel safe in doing that.
Right.
And so we're walking around life going, okay, who I am is hidden from the world, and I really want to show up, but I'm not going to show up until you show up first.
Right.
So, here I am, there you are, we both have our masks up, and you go first. And what I help leaders do is to really start to take that mask down because they're leaders. They have to go first if they want people around them to be bringing who they are out into the world, right? But the challenge in that is when you take your mask down, you feel pretty vulnerable because you're worried that that's not going to be okay, that you're going to be judged and all sort of things. So what you have to do is give your brain something else to focus on.
Okay.
And in the theater world, the way we name that is we focus on our super objective. What is it I'm really after? And that's really what I help people identify in Onstage Leadership is what is that thing that drives you internally that you're really after. And so, for example, let's say you are a leader who truly internally is really about inspiring the people around you. And you want to be about inspiring. But what happens in life is we disconnect because we haven't named what it is that drives us, what really we're about. We disconnect to that and we find ourselves just reacting to the world around us. So let's say we've got people on our team who show up and they're not hitting their numbers. And instead of inspiring people, what comes out of our mouth is, you don't hit your numbers, heads are going to roll. And that happens all the time in corporate America. It happens all the time to us, even outside of the workplace. We're reacting to the world around us.
Happens with the kids, right?
All the time. All the
model
time.
isn't working.
Yeah, and if you haven't named it,
Focus on what it's not working, right?
yeah, if you haven't named it, you don't know, wait a second, that was not congruent with who I really want to be. And so what's happening is people go, he says or she says she's about inspiring people, but listen to her words. Watch what he's doing.
Right.
And that speaks a lot louder than what you say you are about. Okay. So what we do is say, okay, let's name what it is that you're about internally. And then go, okay, given all the situations that you find yourselves in life, what are the different tactics that you can use to show up consistently? Mm-hmm. So if you are about inspiring others, can you inspire someone in the face of telling them that they're not hitting their numbers?
That's right.
You can. Mm-hmm. But does it take a little bit more? Absolutely. It's going to take more. But what we do is go, okay, how can you be more conscious about this? So we give people real quick tools to be able to have some consciousness around it. You know, I say, before you go into a meeting, before you go into a conversation, what is the impact you want to have on the people around you? What is it you want them to do when they leave that meeting? And how do you want them to feel? Mm-hmm. How do you want them to feel? And people forget that piece. Because the way people feel is going to drive them much more than anything else.
It's after that meeting that you're telling them they're not hitting their numbers. They don't feel that you have an answer for them or feel inspired and by you that and comfortable. You know, your end up they go. It works the opposite direction.
Yeah, you got to have awareness of what's going on within them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because remember, when we criticize, most of us, what we end up doing when we criticize is we don't take that externally. We automatically go to that place to where what have we learned way back there that I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. Somebody indicated, either told us or made us believe that we're not, that you aren't. Well, we turned you aren't to I'm not. Somebody criticizes, and we oftentimes slip into that area of those old tapes. And now we're defeated, deflated, and the person doesn't realize their impact they're having on us, where they can do the reverse by finding inspiring ways to motivate us forward that helps build us up and also helps us shift our belief system. So there's dynamics going on, obviously, to everybody involved in a situation like that.
Yeah.
And we don't know the impact. Often we're not aware of the impact we have either positively or negatively to people. So.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, can I go into a meeting and know exactly what it is I need to do to inspire that individual in front of me?
Have confidence in it, right?
You know, you don't know exactly how something's going to hit, but you can be a lot more mindful, a lot more strategic in the way you're showing up in the world if you're thinking about how might this hit this person.
Right. Long-term effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they hear it,
absolutely.
I'm not hitting my numbers and my days are numbered and how am I going to feed my kids?
Yeah.
Then, you know, and you may lose somebody or a group of people that you really think have the potential. You're just trying to, you know, that you.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, it's your high performers. Your high performers, the ones that are really the rock stars on your team that are way more critical on themselves than you ever need to be. You know, so if you could tell someone who is really sharp, who is really gifted, who is a high performer, something, they're going to be beating themselves up twice as much as you are going to be beating them up. But what I also don't want to suggest that I have leaders, it's all sunshine and roses, that, I'm going to inspire and it's all wonderful and you never have to give bad news, and because that's not life, right?
Right.
But it's how, what really is the proof in the pudding is how are you showing up in the face of the obstacles you're facing. Mm-hmm. So what I say to folks is, look, you need to have not just a strong tactic, you need to have an arsenal of tactics of what you can do in these situations. If you've got to lay somebody off, how you handle that situation is not only going to have an impact on the individual in front of you, but it's going to have an impact on your entire team as they observe how that went down. And so what are the things that you can do? What are the actions you can take to make sure you're showing up congruently as the person you want to be in order to get the results that you're going to want?
And also, I've seen people, you know, maybe in an entrepreneur, and this will even happen more maybe down the road. I hope not, but I could see somebody that maybe had worked all their life and they open a business and when the numbers aren't working, that they themselves abdicate the leadership position and as everybody head for the exits. I mean, they look to you, the the owner or you're the perceived leader because you're
Yeah.
you're the one in charge and telling them what to do, and so.